for medical professionals to do it.
Lobotomy.
So Freeman's breakthrough came in 1945 when he heard about an Italian psychiatrist called Amaro Fiamberti, who was able to access the brain through the eye sockets. And Freeman thought, well, why drill 2 holes in the skull when you have 2 holes in your skull built in? Why not just go through the eye sockets? And so in 1945, Freeman takes an ice pick from his kitchen drawer and starts practicing this procedure on grapefruit,
goes crazy.
apparently. I have no idea how you can practice medical procedures on grapefruit, but apparently that's what he used to do. And once he felt confident he was good at doing the grapefruit, he then moved on to practicing on cadavers. And after practicing on enough grapefruit and cadavers, eventually Freeman felt confident enough that he had nailed down the procedure for what he would then call the transorbital lobotomy. Hey, one sec. So we're going to talk about how dangerous lobotomies are in a second. But you know what else is dangerous? The internet. And that's why today's video is sponsored by Aura. This one is just for my US viewers, so if you're from the US, listen up. On the internet, there are these people called data brokers. And essentially what they do is they take your personal information and they sell it to third parties. They take things like your full name, your email address, sometimes your home address, and not just yours, but that of yours and your family's. And the personal information that they sell to these third parties is used by those third parties to flood your inbox with annoying spam emails, target you with scams, with phishing emails, and it could even be used by hackers to target you or your loved ones. But you don't just have to accept this fate. Instead, you can sign up for Aura, and what Aura does is they act on your behalf to get your name, email, and address removed from these data brokers. Aura is conveniently managed to... Thank you, Aura, for sponsoring today's video. Let's get back to talking about lobotomies. So this is how the transorbital lobotomy would
I could have done better.
Drilling holes in the skull,
fuck, the Wi-Fi's dead.
Something which he called a orbitoclast, which for all intents and purposes is an ice pick. And he would take this ice pick and put it under the eyelids of his patient and would push it until he reached the roof of the eye socket. Now, as you get to the eye socket, you'll encounter a very thin piece of bone. And that thin piece of bone is what separates the eye socket from the brain cavity. And so, to break through that little piece of bone, he would just take a little mallet and just tap, tap, and boom, you're through that little piece of bone and you have access to the brain. From there, he would push it in a little bit further and essentially wiggle it around a bit. And the goal of this